Merry Meet! Thank you so much for joining me today. We are working a psalm spell today, and today we are working Psalm number 49. Now, Psalm 49 has a lot of different uses, but today we are using it to increase our psychic ability. Yes, I think that's a good thing to do, to use this psalm magic to increase our psychic ability. So, the way we work psalm spells is extremely simple and very powerful. We read the psalm through all the way without stopping out loud, and then we go back through the psalm and we mine, we dig, we search for hidden meanings deep within the psalm. We see them as packets of seeds, infinite seeds within those psalms that we can, through this digging, searching, finding, and contemplating, we actually plant these seeds deep within our mind, like fertile ground, where they take root and they grow and they bear fruit after their kind. And that's what we're going to do today with Psalm 49. So here we go with Psalm 49. Hear this, all ye people, give ear, all ye inhabitants of the world, both low and high, rich and poor together. My mouth shall speak of wisdom, and the meditation of my heart shall be understanding. I will incline mine ear to a parable. I will open my dark saying upon the harp. Wherefore do I fear in the days of evil, when the iniquity of my heels shall compass me about? They that trust in their wealth and boast themselves in the multitude of their riches. None of them can by any means redeem his brother, nor give to God a ransom for him. For the redemption of their soul is precious, and it ceaseth forever. That he should still live forever, and not see corruption. For he seeth that wise men die, likewise the fool and the brutish person perish, and leave their wealth to others. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. Nevertheless, man being in honor abideth not. He is like the beasts that perish. This their way is their folly. Yet their posterity approve their sayings, Selah. Like sheep they are laid in the grave. Death shall feed on them, and the upright shall have dominion over them in the morning, and their beauty shall consume in the grave from their dwelling. But God will redeem my soul from the power of the grave, for he shall receive me, Selah. Be not afraid when one is made rich, when the glory of his house is increased. For when he dieth, he shall carry nothing away. His glory shall not descend after him. Though while he lived he blessed his soul, and men will praise thee, when thou dost well to thyself. He shall go to the generation of his fathers. They shall never see light. Man that is in honor and understandeth not is like the beasts that perish. All right, so now we're going to work it as a piece of magic. And the way that we do that is very, very complete. So sometimes we take it verse by verse, sometimes we take it line by line, and sometimes we take it word by word. Now this is a medium length psalm, so we'll probably just give it a good going over, but not too thoroughly. But you can see how we do it, so you can keep coming back again and again and again. And the more you come back to the same psalm again and again and again, until you start seeing movement in the right direction of what it is that you're wanting, that's the way to do it. So we're reconditioning our minds. It's a type of spell casting, and you continue to cast until you start seeing some results. So it starts out with, hear this, all ye people. Okay, so we're not talking to the Lord. We are addressing our thought forms. So remember that when we look at the Psalms magically rather than religiously, we are looking at every single character and thing within the psalm as being a different part of our own makeup. So hear this, all ye people, all the different parts of me, all those different thought forms within me. Give ear, all ye inhabitants of the world. So listen up, everybody. I'm talking to you. This is a general announcement. both low and high, rich and poor, together. All the good thought forms, all the bad thought forms, all the thought forms that are working for me, the thought forms that are not working for me. My mouth shall speak of wisdom, and the meditation of my heart shall be of understanding. So we are talking about two different spheres on the tree of life that we're invoking, both wisdom and understanding. So we've got the father and the mother here. So we are dealing with the Lord is the top of the tree of life, and then we're also dealing with sphere number 2 and 3, which is the father energy and the mother energy. Here we go. I will incline mine ear to a parable. I will open my dark saying upon the harp. Okay, so we are now getting everybody ready that is within us for this spell that we are now performing. That dark saying upon the harp. Wherefore should I fear in the days of evil, when the iniquity of my heels shall compass me about? So, the days of evil, when the iniquity of my heels shall compass me about. We are, well, let's just look at this next phrase because it tells us. They that trust in their wealth and boast themselves in the multitude of their riches, none of them can by any means redeem his brother, nor give to God a ransom for him. So now, on an exoteric level, we're talking about when things look like they're bad, don't worry about it, because there's more than meets the eye, and eternal life is actually happening here and now. So don't worry that some people look like they're getting something that they don't deserve, or that they're getting wealth. But don't worry about that, because all will be well. But now the way we deal with that on an internal level is don't give, where it says, where is that? Wherefore should I fear in the days of evil, when the iniquity of my heels shall compass me about? No, that we are asking a rhetorical question. Do we fear when things aren't working out for us? Do we fear when we don't know which way to turn? No, we don't. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to ask to be led. That's why we're asking to increase our psychic abilities, so that we can understand things even though we don't understand what we're seeing. They that trust in their wealth and boast themselves in the multitude of their riches. None can by any means redeem his brother, nor give God a ransom for him. So, like I said, on an exoteric level, you can't buy your way into heaven, right? So that, we all kind of know what that means from a religious point of view. But from a magical point of view, you can't buy your way into this psychic development either. You have to work at it. You have to keep coming back again and again, and allow yourself to listen with new ears and see things with new eyes. For the redemption of their soul is precious, and it ceaseth forever. So from the point of view of when we're talking about death here, we're talking about your soul is what's precious, not what you own. And the same thing goes for your psychic abilities, are what are precious, not so much what you think is happening in the physical world, not so much the appearances of what are happening. What's precious is the truth behind that, and that's what we're seeking to find with gaining this psychic strength. That he should still live forever and not see corruption. So the soul does not die. The soul does not see corruption. So we want to see things as our soul sees things. That's what psychic ability is seeing things as our soul sees things, from the eternal point of view, not from the point of view of the mortal world. For he seeth that wise men die, likewise the fool and the brute person perish and leave their wealth to others. So again, on an exoteric level, we see that people try to maintain their wealth over generation and generation by doing things like living trusts and wills and things like that, and leaving their property so that they live on in posterity. But what we need to recognize is that that's also true from the point of view of just our day-to-day living. We think that we are our personalities, we think we are our bodies, we think we are our homes, we think we are our circumstances. And when those things change and die, what is important is that which is continuous, and that is our soul. And if we can see, again, from the point of view of our soul, then we can understand the truth behind all of the comings and goings, the births and the deaths and the things that within the circumstances of our lives. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. Okay, so again, there's a different way of looking at the world that is through physical eyes, where you're trying to make eternal that which is corruptible. And then the other eyes that we've been talking about is from the eyes of the soul, and that's where eternal life already lives, and that's where all psychic ability lives, because it sees things as it is rather than as it appears to be. Nevertheless, man being in honor abideth not. He is like the beasts that perish. Okay, so there's no honor in the mortal world in and of itself. Things that die, things that come, things that go, that's not where honor is. Honor is what's behind it. Honor is what's behind it. And so everything in the world of form will die. There's nothing that's exempt from that. But the reality of your life has nothing to do with that which is corruptible and that which dies. Just trying to make oneself immortal by leaving your wealth to others. Trying to make oneself immortal by naming wings of hospitals and things after themselves on a mortal level. That's what it's talking about. But on an esoteric level, it's talking about how we are trying to make our mark on every part of our lives by acting as though who we are as a person, who we are as a personality, and who we are as a body is what's important, rather than who we are beyond all of that. We exist beyond this life completely, many, many lifetimes, and that we are eternal beings, and that's where that psychic ability comes from. It comes from the eternality of our being, which we are blinded to every time we look to the world of form and expect the world of form to give us something good. That is what is valuable, that is what's worthwhile. Like sheep, they are laid in the grave. Death shall feed on them, and the upright shall have dominion over them in the morning, and their beauty shall consume in the grave from their dwelling. Okay, so again, we're talking on one level, we're talking about how no matter what you do, mortality is gonna get your body. It's gonna get your personality. That everything in this world is temporary. But from what we were talking about earlier with the psychic perceptions, like sheep, they are laid in the grave. Death shall feed on them. We want to be able to not be hypnotized by the world of form, thinking that whatever is dying, whatever is going away, whatever is corrupted is somehow the truth, that is somehow what's powerful. If we can see with the eyes that are behind all of those illusions, we can see the truth. And there's absolutely no information that is withheld from us, because we have all rights to that information. That is our birthright. So we don't need to be like sheep that are laid in the grave, death feeding on them, and the upright. We are the upright that are having dominion in the morning over all of those thought forms, over all of those ideas that what is in the world of form is what's real, what is in the world of form is what we need to understand. Those things that whole perception needs to die, and that we have dominion then over that as souls. And we consume. It says, and their beauty shall consume in the grave from their dwelling. So the things that we hold, that we think are so beautiful here, the things that we hold so dear here, are actually blinding us to our abilities to see the truth that is behind them. Because what is beautiful is much, much different than what we think is beautiful. Be thou not afraid when one is made rich, when the glory of his house is increased. Yeah, so you don't want to worry about the comings and goings of fortune in this world, because when you are hypnotized by the comings and goings of fortune in this world, then you stop looking at the world with the eyes of truth. And so you can't see. Although those of you that are looking for an increase in your psychic ability, you can't have that if you are hypnotized by what you think is happening in the world. For when he dieth, he shall carry nothing away. His glory shall not descend after him. So everything in this world is going to be gone. Every single thing in this world is going to be gone. And when you recognize that, then you don't look to this world as being something of value. Then you choose easily to see the world with new eyes so that you can see all of the value that's behind all those forms. And that's when you start to understand what's really happening. And when you understand what's really happening, you're more than just psychic. Okay. Though while he lived, he blessed his soul, and men will praise thee when thou dost well to thyself. Okay, so while you're walking in the midst of darkness, while you're walking along amongst the dying and the dead, which is what this world is, you consistently bless your soul. You consistently come back to your soul and ask your soul to show you the truth, not your ego mind, not the appearances. He shall go to the generation of his fathers, and they shall never see light. Okay, so the generation of the fathers that never see light is, again, this world of form is just going to pass away to everything, just like everything that passed away before it, and everything that passed away before that, and everything that passed away before that. Nothing in this world is ever going to be eternal. It's never going to offer us anything that is worthwhile. However, the power behind everything in this world that enlivens the world, that gives life to this world, offers us everything. And that has nothing to do with form, so because it's incorruptible and it cannot die. So only form can change, only form can die. And once we recognize that and we see the world as it truly is, then we have all psychic ability. We have all ability to see with real eyes, hear with real ears, etc. That all of that, clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, all of that becomes just natural. Man that is in honor and understandeth not is like the beasts that perish. Yeah. So when you have the understanding, when you have the realizations, when you see with truth, there's nothing to fear. When you don't see with truth, then you are putting yourself into perspective of and valuing that which can't live. That is already on its way out. If you're looking to the world of form to feel to find your good, then you're always going to be disappointed. But also, if you're looking to the world of form to find any kind of psychic ability or second sight or true sight, spiritual sight, clairaudience, clairvoyance, all of that, you're looking in the wrong place. You need to look to the world beyond the world of form, because that's what that is opening up your sight so that you can see the reality, what the life is behind the world of death. All right, so that's how we do this. That's how we work these Psalms, and I hope this was good for you, and I can't wait to work with you again. And until that time, blessed be.